Yes, yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned into Sparks Weekly, where we let the sparks fly. I am your host, Brianne Ingram, and we are coming to you live from the Good News Radio. Boy, oh boy, do we have a show for you today. Fish is going fishing. That's right. Derek Fisher is out as the Sparks head coach, and a new captain of the ship has been appointed by the name of Fred Williams. Boy, was this a doozy. And trust, we are about to break it all the way down. But first, we have a very special guest in the building with me today. She is our first female guest here on the show. That's right, making history. We got to represent for the ladies, especially the black women out here in the sports world. She is another heavy hitter out here. She is a Sparks reporter, a sports anchor, a co-host of a podcast called The Dub Connect, a multimedia journalist for the Long Beach Post, the VP of operations for Nightcast Media, and she has her own production company called J. Rae Productions. The one and only Jackie Rae. Hey, Jackie Rae, say what's up to the people out there.
What's up? When you read it down like that, I feel like I need a vacation. That's a lot. That is a lot.
Hey, you everywhere. You doing it all. Listen, I am so glad to have you here with me on the show today, and just thank you for coming on.
Man, thank you for having me. It's good to see you. You know, we've been working together in the Sparks, and it's good. It's good, like you said, to see the ladies out there representing.
Yes, we gotta do what we do.
Yeah.
As always. All right. Without further ado, let's get it. The Sparks made headlines on Tuesday when they parted ways with their GM and head coach and the captain of their ship, Derek Fisher. Fisher was let go 2 days after the Sparks' 81-76 loss to the Phoenix Mercury on Sunday. The Sparks are 12 games into the season. They are 5-7, and they have the 8th best record in the league. Sparks assistant Fred Williams has been named as the interim head coach for the rest of the season, and Fisher was hired as the head coach in 2019, and Williams has also been a Sparks assistant since 2019 as well. All right, Sparks Nation out there, were you surprised by the firing? Hey, were you not surprised? Let me know your thoughts. Just go to the Good News Radio app, hit us up in the chat, and tell us how you really feel. Okay, so Jackie Rae, can you just describe your Tuesday to me? What were you doing when you got the news, and how did you get the news, and what was your reaction to the Sparks letting Fish go?
So Tuesday was an interesting day because it's an election day. Tuesday was an election day, so it was a big day out in Long Beach. So I was in Long Beach. I was at the Long Beach Post. We were actually putting together our game plan of what we were going to do. So like you said, I'm the multimedia journalist, which means I got to go out to these parties. I got to get videos. And you probably can pick up on my personality. There's some politicians that were not going to see me, weren't going to be happy to see me walk into the room.
Right.
So I was trying to strategically plan out how I was going to do that, who I was going to roll with as far as, another writer going with me. And I'm sitting at we've got little offices. We all sit at cubes, but we got little offices. And so when I need to be away, I was sitting in that little office and I'm just like typing out my game plan, get my questions ready. And then all of a sudden my phone goes zzz, zzz, and I'm not looking at it because I'm focused. And it's like zzz, 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 zzz. And then I looked and I'm like, and I said that I'm not gonna say it on the show, y'all, but I said just F word really loud, and because it's such a big election day, like the whole newsroom like stopped what they do, and I saw heads pop up out their cube like, what happened? And I'm like, it's It's not had nothing to do with y'all. My bad, my bad. But it was one of those moments where I would, because I saw the writing. I think all of us saw the writing on the wall for Derek Fisher. I knew the end was coming. I personally thought the end was going to come at the end of the season. Derek Fisher is a very nice person.
Yes,
he is a great guy. He's just one of those people that you really like. But the same thing I say to people all the time when I'm talking politics, nice people rarely make good politicians because it's a cutthroat thing. You've got to be hard. You've got to be stern. And so for me, especially since this is my first season covering the Sparks, there were some things off top that I was like, ooh, that's a problem. First and foremost, the second you let Candace Parker get away, she's the entire GOAT. And to me, and then let's not forget, the point guard, you let her go. Candace Parker walked right into a championship, and then Chelsea walked into the best record in the league. So for me, this is LA is a different animal. If you're going to have a sports team here, that sports team needs to be in contention, and you need to have all eyes on that organization. So to me, and I don't want y'all to come for me because people have come for me on my takes on Nightcast Media about Liz, but to me, the pickup of Liz was to shift the focus away from this blunder of you not keeping Candace Parker. And there were a lot of things that I feel like if you were going to bring someone like Liz Cambage to the team, you had to address before you did so. And none of those things were addressed. None of those things were addressed. And then for me, and because you've been in some of those press conferences, how many times did you hear Derek Fisher say, we have to protect Liz? How many times did you hear NECA say, we have to protect Liz? Kennedy Carter, we have to protect Liz. Okay, but is she protecting the basket? Is she arguing with the refs too much? Is she transitioning on defense? How is she 22nd in rebounds at 6'9"? You got to talk about these things, you know what I mean? And those things weren't addressed, and it was just too much. And I think for me, the moment where I was like, this is not good was when Derek Fisher he benched Liz for the last, I think it was the last 7 minutes of that game, give or take.
Right.
And so for me, I was like, okay, Fish, everything you did in this moment is working for me. Because one of the things that I didn't like is you're not calling enough timeouts. When you see the momentum shifting, timeouts.
Exactly.
Let's talk about this. He did that in that game. When Liz leaves her hand in the air after a free throw when they were getting the bricks beat off of them, or when she's like, literally there was at least twice in that game where somebody was left wide open because Liz was writing a 4-page letter to the refs on the other side of the court. So when he benched her, I was like, okay, let's go.
Oh, so let's go.
I did, because to me, I used to play, so it was different for me. So you got to it's about the team. It's not about you.
Right.
And win or lose this game, you're going to learn to move as a team. So I thought he benched her to show her, okay, enough. I'm the head coach. If anyone's going to have a conversation with the refs, it's supposed to be me. So I was like, okay, I like this. But then when I asked him in the post game, I was like, so was it because that she continually is a detriment to her team by not transitioning on defense that you benched her? He was like, no, that might have been a mistake on my part. And when he said that, I was like, this ain't it.
Okay.
This ain't it.
Yeah, because in fact, last week on the show, the guys did predict, like, hey, they thought that Liz was going to be benched, like, during crunch time. And then he did bench her, but then he said, it might have been a mistake. So,
first of all, even if it was a mistake, you don't say that in a press conference. Like, you rephrase that.
Yeah, he definitely admitted that, hey, probably, I don't know, he probably, regretted that a little bit. My thing is, I was a little surprised because I'm like, no, they actually fired Fisher because, as we've stated, he is such a great guy.
But very nice guy.
But at the same time, at the end of the day, a job needs to be done, And so a part of me didn't want to believe it. But then after I got my initial reaction out the way, I'm just like, okay, well, I can't be mad at him.
I was mad. I'm not even going to lie. As much as I saw the incoming for Derek Fisher, there's always a level of upheaval. They've been preaching this thing of chemistry and how this is a brand new team. It's difficult for me to say, okay, we're riding on this. We've got to build chemistry. It's new. We're going to get it. And then now be like, okay, we ain't got it, so we're going to move on, But when they hired the new president and she came in that press conference, at Vanessa Shea, and she was like, I have to be in a position where I can increase audience engagement and I can get new sponsors. And she said the only way to do that is to get wins. So with that narrative, and then her trying to establish her, because like you said, a job is a job. So you can't be a detriment to my job, right, especially when I got to say about that. So I get it. I wasn't happy about the firing because I really like him as a person.
Right.
But that's just me and my feelings probably.
No, I feel you. And in fact, I was a little more surprised though in the fact that they didn't keep him on as the GM. Keep him in the GM.
But see, most teams in the leagues, which was interesting to me too, because I was like, I always thought that, most teams in the W, the coach is the GM. And if Doc Rivers has taught us nothing, he has taught us that usually don't work.
Yeah, but he did such a great job in constructing the team. So
did he though? See, that's the thing though.
We have great talent on the team.
We do, but you can always put an asterisk by that when you let the goat walk.
Okay, I'm saying, but as far as letting Candace walk, which okay, we're gonna get into that though. But yeah, so. But what I'm saying is because he constructed a really good
Wait a
team,
second, who said that? I saw somebody said that Liz doesn't fit the roster. Who said that?
Liz doesn't fit the roster.
He called Liz. Yes, thank you. That's his exact and that's I can't see that far, y'all. I know I need glasses, but I don't go with my look, so I don't be wearing that. Thank you.
Oh man. But yeah, so we still have a great team though, as far as the team that we have this year. We have shooters, which I definitely got to use Lexi and Katie Lou more. But
we have no perimeter defense outside
that's the
of
thing.
Brittany.
So our transition defense has been atrocious. That we have to clean up going forward for sure. And Nneka even said that she was at least glad that Fred Williams was able to step in and take over the reins if it was anyone else, because they know Fred. So at least for the rest of the season. But listen, I love Fish. He's a champion. He's a Laker. He knows his basketball, obviously, but he just hasn't been as successful in the coaching space. And ultimately, the Sparks have to do what was best for them.
Yeah, we have to see. And I do think Fred will do great. He has a similar personality as Coach Fisher. But the one thing that I did like to hear him say is they were already running a different drill that caused them to, like Nneka said, listen and communicate. And that's the other issue I had, is there wasn't enough communication sometimes. But then again, and I hate to harp on this, one of the things that I hate is like every time there's a timeout or there's a break, Nneka or somebody got to run over to Liz and like rein her back in. Like, this is your job. As per her statement, she's been playing since she was 15. This ain't the first time that the refs have given you a hard time. Stop acting brand new with this and play the game.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's something that can be cleaned up. But see, here's the thing. Whenever I see a team with at least a decent amount of talent and they aren't living up to their potential, I always say that's coaching. I always look at the coach, because here we are losing to teams that we had no business losing to. Take your pick. The Lynx on opening night, the rematch against the Fever, and our most recent game against Phoenix on Sunday.
Well, I knew we were going to lose that game.
No, I had us winning that.
Yeah, girl, wow.
Because first of all, when we beat them when they came here, we beat them, and first of all, they didn't even have Tina Charles.
Right.
So they didn't have Tina Charles. We on a 2-game winning streak. They're on a 7-game losing streak. Like, we got this.
Isn't that saying, like, the person you got to fear the most is the person ain't got nothing to lose?
Okay, but Phoenix also had the worst record in the league at the time. They were 2-8.
So here's the thing. So I watch a lot of Phoenix Mercury games simply because those are the ones that are on my League Pass app. I'm throwing shade right now if y'all can't pick that up. That's the game. Yeah, but anywho. So I watch a lot of their games because those are the games that I can get most often. And I'm a big Diana Taurasi fan. Like she man, her whole swag is everything. I love to shout out to DT. But so when I watch their games, I can tell you what's wrong with their team.
Okay.
There's something wrong with the relationship between her and Skylar.
Oh, definitely. We saw that.
Yeah. And I saw that when they played the first time,
Uh-huh.
and they had an opportunity. If Diana Taurasi had gotten that 3, they would have beat us. And Skylar went right. She was wide, and she had been wide open in the corner all night.
Yeah.
And Skylar just never got her the ball, and she went right past her, and she looked at her and went right past her. And I was like, okay, that's a personal issue. That's not a game issue. That's a personal issue. That's why they're on their skid.
Okay.
You know, but I think if they fix that, but there's something about getting beat twice by the same team. So what we didn't do. Yes, we didn't prepare for the step up. You got to know that they come in. You got somebody like Diana Taurasi on, and she loves LA, and she loves the Sparks by her own admission. You ain't gonna just beat me twice though,
right?
So,
yeah. She got that heart. So my predictions and really all of our predictions were just shattered from last game. And with our game, they had the worst record in the league, Phoenix, as I said. We were number 8, they were number 12. They beat us. But see, we were basically neck and neck all game. And in the third quarter, we stopped defending. That was our issue.
So how do you coach that though? Because I saw Derek Fisher, and Derek Fisher, like Nneka says and like Brittany says, he's a man of few words, right? And so the thing about Derek Fisher that kind of, even though I really like him, that used to bother me is he used to always sit there and he would like do some pointing and he would never get fired up. That game he did. And I saw him telling, Liz specifically, get back, transition. And so how do you coach people out of habits that they've had long before they start working for you?
So accountability. And that's the thing. You have to hold players accountable. If they're not being held accountable, then they're going to do whatever they want to do. And see, that's coaching. So that's where he comes in. He has to fulfill that role, but that wasn't really happening.
So let's say he saw this in Liz, because this isn't new for Liz. She's had the same conversations that we're having, even though I haven't listened to podcasts from the Aces. I would bet my last dollar that some of these similar things were being said. So again, these are things that you should address before she comes. And you bench her early. That's number 1. You know what I mean? Number 2, Nneka said something when I was asking, like, okay, so we gonna talk about the Liz situation and let's go back to where you came from and all that. And she said we talked about that in the off season before she came. Right. That's fine. And she said that there was probably an agenda. So here's the problem though. They didn't let Liz get in front of it. Because what you do, if you really have her back, is you Nneka and Kennedy out there to talk to the media. You have Liz come out there and say, we've already addressed this. I'm not talking about it again, because you're holding her accountable. She's never said what she said, right?
Right. Well, she said in her statement that she didn't say it. So again, with that situation though, I didn't really vilify Liz for that, because really it was, they said this, she said she didn't say that, so there was no audio of that. And we saw them, of course, but to me that was like a he said, she said situation, and they already dealt with that. Like she was already reprimanded for that. And listen, she wasn't even on the Sparks when that happened.
Again, I'm not discounting any of that. All of that is 100%. But what I'm saying is, if we're going to keep Liz accountable, all she said was, "Hey, I didn't say that." She didn't, because I've been in situations where I've called somebody out their name and then they repeat it. And I'm like, I didn't say that. I said your mama was you know what I mean? So I didn't say that exactly, but I said some variation of it. And I'm just saying, like, no one's ever in the W, in my opinion, held Liz accountable. So if she's never been held accountable, if you've got everybody coddling her, if you don't make her get in front of whatever she's done wrong with the media and you send out Nneka and Kennedy instead, at what point does she have to hold herself accountable? No one else is holding her accountable. Why does she have to hold herself accountable?
Why does she have to hold herself accountable? Well, listen, maybe they have, some kind of understanding with Liz, but on the court, she can give a little bit more effort. That's what I can say. I think she's averaging maybe 5 or 6 rebounds or something. She is 6'9". I would like for her, to really get down low, and do a little bit more. And also with our game on Sunday, though, in the fourth quarter, listen, we had a 4-point trip that just, that was a turning point for us. So after that, it was a no-go. And then Skylar was able to just go down with like 18.9 seconds left. And it was just
and you knew what she was gonna do.
But she went to the hole with no resistance, and I said that, and then the announcer said it, and I'm just like, wow, okay, so I know I'm not tripping. Like, what is going on? And see, but my thing is, why wasn't Kennedy Carter in the fourth quarter? She was 100% from the field. She was 5 for 5 from the field as well. She had 10 points, and she only played 12 minutes and 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
She played the third lowest minutes and was the third leading scorer for the game. And so the math is not mathing. NECA had 19, Slim had 14, and Kenny had 10.
Yep.
She obviously had the hot hand. So you need scoring. So why isn't she up there? And JC had just coming off it. Was just coming off of her injury, her hamstring injury, and she wasn't 100%. So
Yeah.
obviously we needed Kennedy Carter
And
in
she
there.
went down. She went down hard. Was it in the third quarter or the first half that Kennedy or Jordan went down really hard and landed on her back, and everybody was like, "Oh no!"
Mhm.
So I kind of understood that, but I agree with you. There was definitely some, but by his own admission,
Yeah.
and even Coach Fred said that he's like, you know, the starters are going to keep. So I understand both sides of it, right?
Okay.
Because I'm with Fred when he said in his press conference yesterday. Was he? Yeah. My days be running together, y'all. When he said yesterday that you're going to see a couple of different starting lineups because we're going to rotate things. So I get that and I understand that because I think that's what we need because I don't think we found the absolute right fit yet.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, when you do that, you don't allow people to sit in that pocket. You don't let them really build that chemistry. There's that level of discomfort. I see that with Olivia all the time. Like Olivia, I think is really dope, but because she doesn't get those long stretches of time where she gets to play, she doesn't get to sit in that Olivia pocket.
Right.
So I get both sides of it. I don't think that we found the right lineup yet, but I also think finding that right lineup is a little harder when you keep rotating people in and out. Some of that, they haven't had a plethora of time to practice together.
Right, that's true.
Because they've been on the road. You know, Brittany said it best when she was like, when they called me to say that we had this extra day off, I was like, thank God.
Right.
They gave us an extra day, you know, because I'm tired.
Yes.
So they haven't had, you know, so there's, no matter what case you want to make, you can make it because of the way the schedule has lined up, because everybody is brand new, and because they coddle Liz. Whatever argument you want to make for the Sparks, whether Derek Fisher did the right thing or Derek Fisher did the wrong thing, there's numbers to support it.
I mean, but of course they're going to protect their players, though. That's just what else are they going to do? In reality, though, as far as like those situations, of course they're going to protect their players.
I disagree. You protect them in public.
Right. That's what they're doing.
But you don't let Liz continually do the same thing with no consequences.
You talking about on the court?
I'm talking about on the court.
Okay, on the court.
I'm talking about on the court.
Okay.
Liz that benching of Liz should have happened long before it did.
Do you think that was the final straw? But okay, what do you think was the final straw in which they let Fisher go?
I personally don't know if there was like a moment in time where there was like, okay, they were like, this is it. I do believe that as soon as Vanessa came on, I believe that's when look, let me just play what if. Let me write my own story. I believe a conversation was had that said this is Derek Fisher's last season.
Okay.
They might even have had that conversation with Derek Fisher. But you know, sitting at what 5 and 7 right now, we're in 8th place. It's not horrible, but then when you look at the uphill battle and the fact that everyone who's like 5 and above, we ain't beaten.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We ain't beating them. So when you kind of really look at that, and then her whole goal is to get the W's to increase the fan base. Now the narrative becomes we have to make the playoffs and we can't get bumped in the. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now, even if the firing of or mutually parting ways, as they put it, is it's still a good look for her, because whether they don't make the playoffs or not right now, it looks like we knew that there was a problem. We knew that as the Sparks organization, we haven't represented the legacy of this franchise, and we need to make some changes. So regardless of what happens next, you can say that they understand what this franchise is supposed to look like, and they're trying. You know, so I think that either, like, I was surprised that he didn't make it through the season, but I wasn't surprised at the same time.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like you said, you was thinking maybe towards the end, but this is it was a little early. But oh man. Ooh, and so.
But I love you, Coach.
Yes.
You my boy, Blue.
We do. Yes, we do. Oh man. So yes, Fred Williams was introduced. We had a press conference with him yesterday, and I asked him a little bit about his leadership style, and this is what he had to say. I like that.
Mhm.
I like that.
Cool as a cucumber.
Yes, he coaches with a passion and a purpose, and I'm like that. I like that he said that he looks at the person's, the individuality, and try to motivate his players and all that. And that takes leadership, because what is the main job of the coach? To get the most out of his players and to put his players in the best possible position to be successful.
Mhm.
And usually when a team isn't performing the way that they should be performing, that's usually an issue with leadership. So I really appreciate, Coach Fred coming in and saying that, and trying to maximize his, players' potential.
Yeah, I like Coach Fred, and
Mhm.
I think he had a great relationship with Coach Fisher, and Neka said that they're similar in the fact that they're both men of few words.
Mhm.
But I think that by the fact that they were already running new drills, he's already said that he's going to be changing lineups. There were some things that he saw, while he was not at the helm,
Right.
that he said to himself that he was going to do differently, and he
Mhm.
did those immediately. So I don't. It's gonna this. I don't want anybody to judge what happens on what is it, Sunday is our game? Saturday.
Saturday.
I don't want anybody to judge Saturday,
Okay.
because you still have to, anytime there's an upheaval,
Mhm.
there's a level of discomfort,
Yeah.
no matter how long. We've got a lot of young players on the team, and if he's going to be changing things up, then there's going to be some, like Mikkel said one time, you might have a moral victory. You might have a couple moral victories before you have an actual tangible victory, and that's fine. That's fine. So don't panic, is what I'm saying.
And listen, you know what this means? With Fisher out, you know what this means. Candace can come back. So listen, hey, I'm just saying you love Candace.
I do. That's my
Hey,
girl.
we all love Candace. Yeah, we all love Candace. Hey, I'm just saying, hey, I think the door is open. But all right, everyone, we are going to take a little break. You do not want to miss the second half of the show. Be sure to have your movie lines ready, as we will play Name That Line later on in the show. Just call into the studio through the Good News Radio app. Hey, and listen, we will be right back here on Sparks Weekly with Brianne Ingram. All right, cool, for sure.
So, do you? That's what I was just gonna ask. So, how do you guys get you go out and like solicit sponsors, or?
Yes, contact, reach out to them, and like, hey, this is what we are. These are the packages we offer. And they contact us, and they want on air stuff. We give them as many slots they pay for.
And then with the music, I go through Anchor, so we can like do some music because they put it on Spotify, which I hate. They used to let you choose, but now they don't. So do you have to play instrumentals?
Yeah, because once you use the lyrics, you only got 12 seconds.
Right.
And it won't affect you now,
Mm-hmm.
but the show blows up, and then shit. Universal Records go listen to episode 4, and you play the track that's in the lawsuit.
God, oh shit.
Yeah, like
okay.
We need money for that.
Yeah. So when you do the instrumental, you can do what?
Yeah,
30 seconds?
No, you can play the whole shit.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, there's no lyrics.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Okay, so then next we have the with the.
So how does it work? I give you a lyric or a line?
Yeah.
Or you give me a line?
No. You give me a line. I have to guess the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So you already got it. You got the list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah. So I'm
Okay, I got one. I got one in my head. It's my favorite line.
Okay, boom. And then after you do yours, we're gonna head over to the phone. But that's like what time is it? That'll probably be like around like maybe 4:40, 4:45 ish.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Oh shit, I forgot the cash app keys.
And then so when we come back we're gonna do the expansion talk.
Yep.
So you say it's a bad idea? Oh,
it is a bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Okay, we gonna see.
I love the idea.
In theory?
In theory.
Okay.
I love the idea in theory.
Okay.
Where the city I would want it in is not on the list.
Okay, well, we can talk about that.
Okay. Okay, so what's Keith's Cash App?
What is it? The Good News Radio. Let me get you the exact one. 30 seconds. We back to it.
Okay.
It's on how you control the up and down. If it's too loud, just bring it down. All right. All right. 5, 4. Good to go.
All right, everyone, we are back, and I am here in studio with the one and only Jackie Rae. Okay, just finished wrapping up some fish fire and talk, and now we are moving on to Around the W. All right, so the Athletic just announced that the WNBA commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, is hoping to name 1 to 2 expansion teams by the end of this year. And the commissioner says that these teams could begin playing as early as 2024. And one of the teams that I would like to see made the list, okay, and that city would be none other than San Francisco. But here is the list of the 6 teams. It is Nashville, Philly, Toronto, Oakland, Portland, and San Francisco. So, Jackie Rae, I gotta ask you, out of this list, what city would you like to see the league expand to?
So out of this list, I think Nashville is the best
Okay.
because they got the Titans out there,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's about it. They got a bunch of college teams and things of that nature. So
Oh, I think Tennessee Titans.
yeah,
Oh, okay, but
Nashville.
it's still yeah.
yeah. So
okay.
it's as close as they can get,
Okay,
you know.
yeah.
So I'm thinking, you know, there's a ton of college, you know, basketball and football out there, so it'd be great.
Mhm.
The city that I want did not make the list,
And what city would
I
that
feel
be?
some type of way. Where I grew up, Denver, Colorado. Denver needs to have a W, and let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because as far as a city where I think a team would have immediate success, there's not a whole lot to do in Denver. You know what I mean? So that's why everything does well out there. The Colorado Rapids, the Rockies, the Avalanche, you know, I remember when Carmelo Anthony came to Denver, and at that time the arena wasn't packed, but it was still pretty full. And sometimes they had to give away free stuff to get us out there.
Yeah.
We suck so bad. But nonetheless, people were showing up, you know, whether you were winning or losing, people were showing up because it is a sports town. It's Mile High country, so they ride for the Broncos more than anything. But that is a sports town, and you know, when you're talking about like high school basketball, college basketball, they show up for women out there, and it's not because it doesn't. I'm trying to phrase this politically correctly. There's not this stigmatism that we see sometimes where people compare the WNBA is like the end all be all, and then or the NBA is the end all be all, and then the W is the W. You know, like it's sports out there.
Right.
And so I think that's the city where they could have the most immediate success.
Okay.
If anybody's listening, and we'll just throw that on the list.
Okay. So what do you think of the overall idea of expansion?
I think it's a great idea in theory. When we had media day earlier this, you know, at the beginning of the season, I sat down and I talked to NECA and I was like, so how can we get, you know, more roster spots? There's 144 spots. You know, ESPN. Shout out to Antonio Williams from the Dub Connect. He told me to check out that documentary. Y'all should check it out too. ESPN did this documentary called 144. Which I thought was about the Jehovah's Witness because there's a whole 144,000, right. But you know, it's not. It's about the 144 spots in the W. But it's very limited, you know, and I'm a big Amy Atwell fan, so that's the first who just got waived, and I was mad.
I figured that was going to happen, though.
I did because LT is
First
back.
LT, yeah, she's back, and she didn't get any burn. And so, they had to get narrowed down to 12, so I figured that was going to happen.
So I think it's a great idea in theory. I think it's a terrible idea in practice for what I just said. You know, Vanessa's talked about, you know, we want to get fans in the stands. So I think you got to just look at this not so much as, you know, I think the narrative is there's not enough support around women's sports. And that's true to some extent, but I also think you have to look at it as a business model.
Okay.
And you have if you do get to see a game on the WNBA League Pass app, that's more shade. If you do get to see a game on there, you'll see depending on what game you're looking at, you see straight up empty arenas. And I don't think it's good practice for us to continually see empty arenas. Candace Parker, I went out to Chicago not too long ago. Candace Parker jersey is only in one sporting shop out there. You know what I mean? That she's Candace Parker.
Yeah, there's some complaints about the jersey
right.
availability.
So you have a lack of jerseys, merchandise everywhere. The League Pass app doesn't work, properly. And then we had this conversation with Vanessa when she came on because I was mad. I don't know if you're telling that. I was like, well, how come I can't see the game? And she's like, well, we're on Spectrum Sportsnet. How many people you know?
Luckily, I have it.
You do?
Not everyone, yeah.
Okay, you're the second person I met.
I can watch all the Sparks games, but I know everyone doesn't have Spectrum.
Everybody in my circle is streaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they got Hulu, Netflix.
Yeah.
Some people even have YouTube TV now. So girl, I'm not paying all that. I'm not paying for Spectrum.
Listen,
girl style.
I gotta watch my Lakers. I have to watch my Lakers. I have to watch my Sparks. So yeah.
But see, I'm gonna put my business out there, but I can get the Lakers through
other channels.
Through other channels,
Okay,
I can get the Lakers.
Yeah.
I can't get the Sparks through these other channels. So for me, there are immediate things that you could address to increase the viewership, thereby increase the revenue, thereby increase the ability to get sponsors, and then you could also probably increase, the number of spots on the team. I think the best plan would probably be to create a G League. Like if that's what you wanted to do. You don't agree?
No, I would much rather them expand the actual WNBA because a G League, that's a whole other league that you guys start up and even more teams. I think just expanding a couple more teams is a little more feasible. And
it's just not going to be financially, because here's why. We're already talking about and before I go off on this tangent, let me say this. We got to stop asking for, oh Lord, please don't cut me out. But we got to stop asking for pay equality when it comes to the WNBA. Because when you say that, you're forgetting an entire history that the NBA went through. Did y'all not watch The Last Dance? They had Chicago Bulls was about to go broke. There were college games that were getting more people in their arenas than the Chicago Bulls. They had teams at one point had to pay reporters to come to their games so they could get coverage because news stations weren't covering them. Traveling for them back in the day, the same thing the W was going through, the NBA went through.
Yeah.
But the NBA has been around exponentially longer. So it's growing pains. And the thing is like the W is trying to hold itself to the standard of the NBA, and that is not fair. And that is what I think is causing some of these knee-jerk reactions. Like, we need more teams. You ain't filling out arenas with the teams you got. That doesn't make business sense. Business sense says, hey, we've got a product that is starting to gain some momentum. How do we make this better and then expand?
And see, that's the thing. We have to put the teams in cities where we can just see them flourishing. That's why I picked San Francisco. It only makes sense to have a team in San Francisco right next to the Warriors. That makes perfect sense. I don't understand why we can't have that.
We're not packing out Crypto Arena. We right next to the
We're not
Lakers.
packing out. Okay, but see, so Atlanta, I looked at their arena and it's a little smaller, but they look like they have way more people in there because they don't have as many seats in their arena. But as far as expanding, you don't think that it would take a little less money to expand as opposed to creating a whole another G League?
Well, let me say this. I don't think either of them are great ideas, but
okay.
I think the G League, because the G League, and my thing is this, there's only 12 spots on a team, right? So if you start getting into injuries and stuff, you're in a situation, so at least the G League will allow you opportunities to just be like, hold up, let me go grab some so-and-so, get a two-way contract going, and then I can just be cool. That's more beneficial to the existing team. Do I think either of these ideas are great right now? No, because I still don't, like, there are tangible things you can do right now, first and foremost, and people drugged me last year, but I'm gonna say it again. Y'all need to put this on PBS. The game, because the reason why I'm a basketball fan, I was watching basketball from the time I have cognitive memory.
Right.
That's how I became a fan. I didn't have Carmelo going live talking about, hey, I'm out here. It's like, that's not why I would have become a fan. I became a fan because it was easy to watch. as you flipping through normal channels,
Mm-hmm.
basketball was on. I didn't have to make no extra effort to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
They would come to our schools. They came to our schools and they would say, "Hey, you want some tickets?" You know,
Yeah.
honor roll kids. All this market. Like if you're going to compare yourself to the NBA, go back in history. Look what they did to build up their fan base and mimic that.
Yeah.
They started expanding when they got popular.
Yes. Well, one thing is for sure, they do still need to be paid more than what they're making now.
How?
How? Well, listen.
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
See,
and it
here's
ain't
the
making
thing.
dollars right
Here's the
now.
thing. They're also, where's the investment though? Because once you invest in a company like the WNBA, then you're gonna make your money back. I think that the NBA definitely should be investing more, because who better else to invest in the women's game than the NBA? So I think the investors need to put more money into it so we can get more money out of it. And
so when you're talking about people with big money. So what
exactly,
the Broncos,
the big money, the long
right.
money. Listen, we're gonna have to have this. We're gonna have to put a pin in this and have a bigger discussion on that. But we have to get to the 2022 WNBA All-Star Weekend in Chicago is coming up on Saturday, July 9th. The skills competition and the 3-point contest will take place at 3 p.m. and will be aired on ESPN. I can't wait to see that. And the game will be played on Sunday, July 10th. At 1 p.m. Eastern at the Wintrust Arena, home of the defending Chicago Sky, of course.
You going?
And I want to.
Yeah.
I think I am, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And ABC will be airing the All-Star Game as well. And All-Star Game voting is underway, okay? Fan voting opened last Friday, and the last day to cast your votes will be on Monday, June 20th. You can vote for your favorite players via the WNBA app. Hopefully,
that part works.
Okay,
I checked that. That part works.
Cool. Okay. Also via Twitter, the tweeter, and you can also vote on WNBA.com, and you can visit the WNBA website for more information. All right.
And follow your favorite teams, because they're
Yes.
posting their players and giving you direct instructions on how to either retweet to vote for them or go. So follow your favorite teams too.
Yes, and please do that.
Mm-hmm.
Please do that. Okay, y'all. So it is Throwback Thursday. I'm going to give a little quick spotlight, okay, on a legendary Spark player. And she is none other than Tamika Dixon.
Yes.
She is an OG out here in these streets, okay? Hey, she actually went to University of Kansas. I'm not the biggest University of Kansas fan. I'm a Kentucky fan. I love me some Kentucky. But she was a shooting guard, and she was drafted in 1997 in the second round with the 14th pick by the Sparks. So she was drafted by us, and she played in the W for 13 years, and she played for the Sparks from 97 through 2005.
Mm-hmm.
She played for the Houston Comets and the Indiana Fever after her time here in LA. And she retired in 2010. The Sparks actually honored her last season at the Convention Center when they were playing there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a 3-time WNBA All-Star and a 2-time WNBA champion, of course, with the Sparks. So shout out to Tamika Dixon. I was so happy when I saw her last season when she came through in the flesh. Yes, indeed. We appreciate you, and we love your game, Tamika.
Yes.
All right, so we are now going to do my favorite segment, and it is none other than Name That Line. Okay, so Jackie Rae. All right. So check this out, y'all. Jackie Rae is going to go first, and then I'm going to open up the phone lines for y'all to call in real quick. Okay, so have them ready. Okay, and listen, when you give me these lines, just give me some feeling. Okay, you can't just say, hey, okay, that green chair over there. No, don't do that.
Okay, so I gotta deliver a line kind of like they delivered it in the movie.
Yes, exactly. Yes, give me some feelings. Give me all of that. Okay.
Let me loosen up my shoulders. Okay. All right, so now I just say the line?
Yeah, you can say the line, then I have to guess it.
Okay, ready? This is gonna be too easy.
No, do your thing. We can do more than one.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
It's getting him to shut up. That's the trick. Was that good? I thought that was pretty good.
It's getting him to Oh, Shrek!
Yes.
Yes, Donkey. Yes, Donkey. Yes. Oh man, Shrek is one of my all-time favorites, man. Yes, indeed.
Yes. All right, you give me one back, or I just give them to you?
I mean, you can give me one more. It's cool before we open up the lines if you want. If you got another one. Shrek is one of my favorites. Hey,
why is
you
there?
made my day with that one.
Right, that's my favorite. Y'all, if there's a movie, I watch that movie like at least once a month.
But didn't you say you watched Coco the other day too? What was that? You
Which
watched,
one?
You watched?
No.
We don't
talk about.
Yeah, that one. No,
I watch that.
Coco,
I watch that all the
Yeah,
time.
you just tell me. I'm like, that's crazy.
Was I sitting next to you when I was about full song?
They played it. They played it on the sports game. I'm just like,
It was our wedding day, full animation.
Oh man! Wait, hold on. But wait, what movie is that? It's drawing me a blank. Encanto. There we go. Okay, Encanto. There we go.
My favorite song is Pressure.
Hey, Pressure.
That's my favorite song of that.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all watch that movie every week. It's fantastic.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Somebody calling in with the line.
Let's see what we got. What we got going here. What we got? What's the chest? Hey.
They bashing Liz.
Oh man.
Hey, you know what? I'm not trying to bash her. I'm just trying to say, who got Rudy? Are we talking about Rudy Gobert? Let's not talk about Rudy Gobert now. That's my man's in them.
All right,
that's
y'all.
My man's in them.
So you can call in through the Good News Radio app, everyone. Okay, so just go to the Good News Radio app, hit the menu button in the top left corner, hit Call Studio, and you'll be able to just call it. Hit that, and it's gonna give you a number right there for you to call in. All right.
You're like, call me when you get home.
It's not telling the number.
Oh, it's not. Okay, well, here's the number, y'all. Here's the number you can call in. It's
the 424
Yeah,
number?
424.
Okay, it is 424-888-2064. Okay, the number is 424-888-2064. All right, so you just hit that number, and then yeah, let us know. Let us know. But in the meantime, we are gonna just touch on Sabrina Ionescu. She made history.
Oh, did she?
On Tuesday.
Oh, that's
yes,
right.
she did. She was the first WNBA player in history to record 25 plus points, 8 plus rebounds, 8 plus assists, and 90% field goal percentage shooting in a game. And she accomplished this feat over the Lynx on Tuesday. And she actually had 26 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, and she went 4 for 4 from 3 and 10-11 from the field. So she out there doing her thing over there in New York. Okay, we have a caller here. All right. Hello, caller. You are on line 1. Yes, indeed. Welcome to Sparks Weekly with Brianne Ingram. Who am I speaking to? Oh, hi. Well, hello there, Diane Ingram. You sound very familiar. You sound very familiar. I think. Are you my mother? Is that who this is on the line? Hello. Okay. Well, it's good to hear from you, mother.
Hey, Mom.
All right. Do you have a line for me? Okay, I'm ready for it. I won't have. I won't have. Okay, so that would be none other than Eddie Murphy's Raw stand-up special. That is none other than Eddie Murphy. Yes, indeed, that is him.
Oh, you gotta put Eddie on the end. I won't have Eddie.
Yeah, yes. I won't have. Yes, that's all she needed to say for me. It's just I won't have. I need to talk to you about some other things. Yes. All right.
Awesome.
Well, yes. Well, thank you. Well, thank you for that. All right. Bye-bye.
That reminds me of Jamel Hill's mom. She said that Jamel Hill one time said that she was going through something and her mama called the ESPN.
Well, was she calling back?
Is that your mom again?
Are you calling back? Hello? Hello? Oh, hello, caller, you're on line 1. Hello, yes. Hello? Hi. Yes, I hear you. I hear you, caller. You're on. Welcome to Sparks Weekly. Okay, you got a line for me? sound like Rush Hour to me. That sound like that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan right there to me. Yes. Lee. Yes. Don't you ever touch Chinese man CD. Yes. Oh man, that's that Rush Hour. Hey, Rush Hour 2, that's one of my favorite movies right there. I like that one. I like that one too. I love all of these. Hey. Oh man, I appreciate that, caller. I appreciate that so much.
That's great.
All right, well, thank you. All right, well, thank you. All right. All
I
right.
love it. Everybody got
Yes,
these
indeed.
movie lines just off the top of their head.
Man,
I
they
love it.
going in. All right, well, listen. Thank you. That was our name that line segment, and we gotta, do that again maybe next week or something.
What's your favorite line? You got a favorite line from a movie?
That's what I'm saying. Basically, all those movies are my favorite movies.
That list is long, girl.
Yes, I'm a movie person. Man, I love all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. So thank y'all for playing, Jackie Rae. Thank you so much for
This
playing.
is fantastic.
All right, so listen, the Sparks have a rematch coming up against the Aces at home Saturday, June 11th at 6 p.m. And the Sparks are celebrating Father's Day early this year. It is Dads and Daughters Day at the Sparks game this Saturday, and I think that's gonna be a nice.
I love that. Yeah.
Event. I really do. So predictions, okay? So how do you think the Sparks will come out and play against the Aces under their new leader in Fred Williams?
I think it's gonna be a beatdown.
Oh,
yeah, I think it's gonna be. I mean, the Aces. To be fair, though, the Aces are firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? And so it's a tough. And this again, I even if I was gonna let Derek Fisher go, I might let him go after this because I think it's you're the one who said in the press conference like this. This being your first game, and you've just kind of done this upheaval. And now you're literally walking into a well-oiled machine. Even they lost 2 games thus far, and both of those games they probably shouldn't have lost. They should probably be undefeated right now. So it's difficult no matter what you're doing to go up against a team that moves as one. So a lot of the things that we've talked about, it's just the sparks aren't there. You know what I mean? I do. Again, I'm going to give credit to Coach Fred right off the top though. For him understanding, like from day one, we've got to start running this drill where we're building communications where people understand if they're in different spots, what that means. So I love that. And I would love to be wrong about this situation. But I think that it's kind of a David and Goliath situation with, between these two teams. And again, I think when you go, if I was coaching this team, and not that I'm just going to admit defeat, but you really are going to have to find those moral victories that you can capitalize on. And then, perhaps later in the season, you've built upon those so much that now this isn't a formidable foe. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's going to be one of those things where you kind of try out some different lineups, you try out some different scenarios, and you see how those different lineups go against this juggernaut. And if they work, you check that off like, okay, we got that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But yes. I don't think that where we are right now, we're only firing on like a couple cylinders. They're firing on all of them. So I just don't think this is going to be one of those ones that it's even fair to assume we're going to get the win.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We are playing the team with the best freaking in the league.
The best coach, the highest paid coach in the league.
Highest paid coach, and she's doing her thing. Listen, Becky Hammond, she is a force to be reckoned with.
And that there's something to that though, and that's why I tell everybody, like, first of all, Becky Hammond, spending her time with Pop and all that stuff. She's got a first of all, she had a great basketball IQ before all that, and then now you've worked under one of the greats, and now you come and so your understanding of the WNBA and how that moves, your understanding of how the game itself, and then the understanding of this great person, that's automatically giving you a leg up. And I'm not taking anything away from any of the coaches in the league, but one of the things we've seen throughout the league is it's rare to see somebody who has a ginormous experience of WNBA experience and then get a little, because I think you could go for, like, if LT wanted to go right into, but she's even doing her thing, with the Mavericks. So I think having, your foundation in the W and then getting that experience and then coming back to the W, that gives you a leg up just off top. So shout out to her. Because when y'all see her watch her on the side, she be coaching.
Yeah, coaching.
She be coaching.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so you don't really give the Sparks much of a chance with this one.
No, but I'm not, and I don't want that to be.
Yeah.
We're gonna be there and so if it's one of those things where you and I have been in that press conference when you lose, and it just feels funny.
Yeah.
It's a heaviness to it.
That energy. Yeah.
This loss will not feel heavy.
Oh yeah.
Because my hope is that I have a bunch of check marks of things they do right in this game.
Yeah.
And there's building blocks of going forward. So
I'm just upset that we have to do it against the best team in the league, where we're in that transitional period. But listen, hey, we gotta do it. I
might have let Derek Fisher go on Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I might not have done it right now.
Yeah, I feel it. Yes, indeed. Well, we aren't an oiled machine yet, but listen, we gotta, as you said, work our way on getting there. So we gotta do our rapid fire predictions. Okay, is Liz going to get at least one block on Asia?
Yeah. If she doesn't talk to the rest, if she gets down there and Asia, now that's the thing about Liz. If it comes right to her, she gonna block it.
Okay.
If she got to work for it, no.
Okay. Boom. Okay. Will Liz and NECA combine for 30 points?
Yes.
Will Slim get 3 steals?
Yes.
Will Lexi and Katie Lou knock down 3 threes each?
No.
Will Liz get 7 rebounds?
No.
Will we be able to hold Asia to 15 points or less?
Maybe.
Okay. What about Kelsey Plump?
No.
Jackie Young?
Yes.
Okay. And just real quick, what is the key to our matchup against the Aces on Saturday?
Keep hope alive.
Okay. I heard that. Hey, that is nothing but the truth. Hey, okay. So thank you so much, Jackie Rae, for coming on the show. Where can the people find you and follow you?
And you can follow me on all things social media at Jackie Rae TV. Make sure you follow the Dub Connect on all streaming platforms. And everywhere.
All right. Well, there it is. Hey, everyone, that does it for our episode. I am Brianne Ingram. Thanks for tuning in with me today. Be sure to check us out next Thursday at 4 p.m. right here on Sparks Weekly, your home for all things Sparks. Thanks for listening.